Hello, my name is Ramy Boujawdeh and I'm the Deputy General Manager of Berytech. I'm here today to discuss about Berytech and its role in communication in times of crisis. This session is recorded and scheduled to be shared with the ANIMA Investment Network. So Berytech is an entrepreneurship ecosystem. We're an all-inclusive ecosystem that supports its own entrepreneurs and works across Lebanon to support the growth of Lebanese entrepreneurs in general. We work on setting up and shaping the society, supporting the idea of entrepreneurship and working across multiple platforms to be able to create the right environment for businesses to grow. We work as a nucleus with different stakeholders in the ecosystem of entrepreneurs to influence policymakers, support legislation transformation, to issue the right laws to support those entrepreneurs. The core of our work is to retain young entrepreneurs in Lebanon to help them start, grow, and scale to the international their business. What do we offer? We offer 4 components. The first one is an ecosystem where we connect stakeholders, influence policymakers, and shape cultural norms. At the community level, we build networks locally, internationally, and amongst entrepreneurs to help in exchanging expertise, serve needs, and connect mentors, experts, and customers with the entrepreneurs we work with. At the level of funding, we facilitate access to funding, we stimulate investments, and bring experiences to share with those entrepreneurs on how to raise funds. We provide grants, and we support in equity fundraising and equity funding with those entrepreneurs. And our last component is knowledge, where we catalyze growth. We work with different components, different partners, locally and internationally. We work on ensuring sustainability of the programs we do across multiple verticals, and we help accessing resources locally and internationally to support the ecosystem we serve. The tools that we use to foster innovations are many. The online platform and communication is a way to help people connect, reach out to open innovations, and support intervention in their growth. We work a lot on outreach and motivation to connect people with the sector. So we do a lot of hackathons, ideathons, field visits. We support final year projects in universities to help them convert into an entrepreneurship project. At the level of IP valorization, we work heavily with universities, private sector, public sector to work on encouraging IP valorization to connect and support the linkage between innovation and industry. At Berytech, we are proud to have the Fab Lab in the country where we support innovators, makers to use the space and the facilities and the network to fastly prototype different type of components for an entrepreneur or a maker to make a difference. We have a number of acceleration and incubation programs where we host and support entrepreneurs during a period of time and support them with the commercialization, the fundraising, and internationalization of their program. For our programs, several grants and matching grants are given to the entrepreneurs at different levels of their journey to help them reach to a level where they could either reach to friends, family, or angels, or even investors to support them. Through clustering, we help support many startups and SMEs to lobby together, work together on becoming more competitive, more international, and work together on faster and more efficient and more resilient value chains. In terms of numbers, between 2002 and 2018, we supported more than 3,700 entrepreneurs, helped in the success of 4 exits, created several direct jobs. We incorporated many startups. We hosted more than 330 companies. We fundraised about $20 million in programs, invested $70 million in startups, and raised with the startups about $2.5 million in grants. Now, talking about the crisis, talking about how did we do things and pivoted from the offline to the online, these are some of the things that we've done during this period. So we've pivoted online from workshops, webinars, or Zoominars, or you name them, from events to e-events, and from meetings to online acceleration tools. What happened during the COVID-19 pandemics? This pandemic created an extra layer of hardship to an already existing struggling Lebanon. Lebanon, as you may know, is passing through a very difficult financial, economical, political struggle. and this has been, increasing day by day since October 2019. We are currently going through a very rough economical and political crisis, but at Berytech, we have always been resilient. We've been working hard on driving that economy forward, keeping the promises and keeping those entrepreneurs with ideas to be able to drive through those difficulties and reach to a safer ground. The team at Berytech responded swiftly and to those concerns and requests and those transformation since the confinement took effect. And then we started working with different tools and mastering those tools to do multiple things. So Zoom video communication was one of the core elements of communication with the masses. We use several platforms like Typeform, for example, to collect data and share information and reply to concerns and so on. And we use Mailchimp, for example, to support us through community development and social media communication. The main subject of discussion during the crisis was to support our community in terms of change. They were facing change, we were facing change. And what we needed to provide them with is the tools, the documentation, the expertise, and the content they need to work around this crisis. So these are some of the topics that we helped heavily during the crisis through online and communication to help them resolve. Crisis management was one. Pivoting in time of change, and as we know in our space of entrepreneurship, pivoting is core, and in crisis it's even more important. It's the most, as you know, the most change happen not from the agility of the financial potential of a startup, but more its agility to transform change. Resilience was another component because people needed to be stronger, need to work together. Marketing in times of crisis was another component because we needed different techniques and techniques to go there. We provided a lot of our entrepreneurs and community on tips on how to work from home efficiently. Finance management was core because the world was being emptied fast and not efficiently. They needed to manage their labor, their cost, and everything. In terms of validation, acceleration, and incubation, in terms of working with potential users, end users, testing, and so on, a lot of tools were given to our entrepreneurs to teach them how to cruise around those questions, concerns, reach out to customers and beneficiaries at the end to see how they can do it. And challenges and innovation opportunities in specific sectors such as clean tech. So we have run a number of tools and sessions to teach people about a particular topic that we had to work with. So when it comes to the core, if you want the core attraction to keep our community engaged, it's related to content. We were not the only one. As you know, we were not the only one who were trying to reach to their community online. The online platform were huge, invitations to webinars, Zoominars, sessions was always present. Everybody was asking to share content and info. And I think with our 20 years of experience in entrepreneurship, this has allowed us to write about subjects credibly. So we were able to talk about different contents and share different information that were valuable to the people that grew. All this content that was created was published on multiple platforms to be able to reach as much as possible the audience that we work with and the people that need most the content that we have. So with that, we have published on our website, on our social media, and sent via emails and newsletters on our weekly Berytech Beat newsletter. So we profiled startups and SMEs. We wrote in-depth articles on different subjects of interest of our community. We shared several tips and insights, and we were interviewed in the media and shared that content with others. When it comes to the challenges related to the financial and economic crisis faced in Lebanon, there has been a number of things that needed to be discussed. So capital control has been in effect for a few months now, which has led Lebanese startups to question their future. So people were questioning about their investment hold, the lack of venture capital, the private equity markets, the liquidity crisis, accessing, the hard currencies like dollar, the impact of inflation because the value of the Lebanese pound have been reduced 3 times. So we used to have the parity between the dollar and the Lebanese pounds. $1 was equal to 1,500 Lebanese pound, and today we're sitting at $1 is equal to 4,000 Lebanese pounds, which makes which makes a huge inflation in the situation. And adding to that, that cash was not available, hard cash to pay for different things. It was a whole learning for everybody. And managing the cash and managing any sort of hard currency at hand was a learning that people needed to adapt to. So for us, we needed to work around supporting those startups. We needed to help them. They are connected to the world. They need to spend money outside. They need to attract clients. They need to reach out to new services. And we needed to work with them to be able to make them more resilient. So everything must be done so that the startups can keep part of their services and teams in Lebanon. We want to retain as much as possible the core teams in Lebanon, but we want to send our startups to the world to be able to attract new clients, new potential, retaining their brains, retaining their kitchen in Lebanon, but making sure that their sales teams are outside. So we worked around different things with them. In terms of opening a bank account abroad was a priority to be able to collect money abroad and be able to circulate the money to pay some services outside. We want them to be able to work from Lebanon and from outside and manage their fees. We wanted them to target international markets. It's also a means of obtaining foreign currency liquidity, increasing the resilience, diversifying the risks, and so on. This can only be done through a distributor, a franchise, a joint venture, or even the creation of a branch abroad. And those were advised to the startups that we were working with. What do we need from the ANIMA network? Well, the ANIMA network can give us open opportunity for scaling abroad. We would like to use that network to connect our startups with different ecosystem, different players abroad, including access to funding, access to networks, and soft landings for our startup. When we target those international markets, we would love to have access to mentors for those targeted international markets and be able to give those startups access to those markets and the possibility not to fail or to do what we call in French faux pas in those markets. Networking opportunities are crucial because if you want those startups to scale, they need to be able to access foreign business angels, venture capital, and private equity funds. So that's also a crucial component for us. With that, I want to thank everybody on the call. Berytech, through the ANIMA network, have grown stronger with more networks and more connections. I think this situation have helped us improve our communication skills, and we have just this weekend have finished our first e-hackathon challenge. With that e-hackathon challenge, we had about 100 participants from across the country over 4 days. It was a wonderful experience. We managed to learn how to run an e-hackathon remotely. So communication, content, digital platform have all helped us become more resilient, more reachable, use the international bandwidths of being able to access a network of experts abroad and use the online communication to bring them closer to the audience in Lebanon have all helped. I'm sure we will all learn from each other through this crisis and come out of it in good shape. I thank you again for your participation and look forward to get some of your questions. Thank you.
And stop.